What's up, class, and welcome to your summative. For your summative, we're going to ask you to use the 7 steps to perfect blending that we went over in class in order to make these animals look like they belong in these new scenarios and environments. For this test, you'll have 2 parts. The check for understanding will be the same for each student. The second part, you will have 3 options to choose from. Now, for the check for understanding, when you open it, you'll see that you have a frog and you have a lily pad. And your job is to use those 7 steps to remove the background of this frog and make this frog look like it belongs in the scene. If you want very specific instructions, you'll see that in today's slides, we have a hidden slide here that tells you exactly what to do step by step. I'm going to speed through this just to give you a final product, but everyone's going to start with the same thing, making a really good selection of the frog, adding a mask, and building from there. Now, once I have a good selection, I'm going to add a mask. It's really important we don't erase pixels. Then you really want to think about sizing and location. Now, all of us are going to have our frog somewhere behind this flower because we're going to use a technique where we hide part of the image behind the flower. So I'm going to place my frog maybe around here somewhere, just so part of its neck is obscured by the flower. Yours can be anywhere as long as it's near the flower where it would overlap. Then you're going to add some adjustment layers to make this frog look color and tone-wise like it belongs here. So I added a levels adjustment layer as well as a selective color to really make this frog look like it belongs in the scene. I also made sure I right-clicked on them and hit clipping mask so they only affected the frog and nothing else. After you've done your first selection with the mask, you're going to do a check-in. And then once you've edited the color, you're also going to do a check-in. Now you want to think about how to transform it so this is in the correct perspective so it makes sense for the scene. All your transformations are under Edit Transform. Depending on what you like to do, you might want to use perspective, distort, rotate, play around with these to see which one makes the most sense for your image. Now, once you have your transformation the way you like, you want to build a faux shadow. To do that, you really do need your selection of your frog one more time. So you can hold down Command or Control on your computer, click on the mask, you get the outline you made. Now you want to make a new blank layer and fill that layer with black. I'm using the paint bucket tool to do so. You'll see now that you have this black shape. You can drag it underneath your frog, lower the opacity a little, and start manipulating it with these transformations you just did earlier to make it look like a shadow. Now, after you're done with your shadow, you're only missing one more technique, and that's to hide part of this frog so that it looks like it's behind this flower. To do so, I'm just going to lower the opacity of my frog layer just a little bit so I can see where the flower overlaps on the frog. I'm going to zoom in super close, and I'm basically just going to trace the area where the flower would touch the frog with whatever selection tool I'd like. I'm going to use a lasso for this. And since I used the mask in the first step, all I have to do is be on the frog layer and fill this area with black. That will conceal that part of the image. If I notice that there's a piece missing, I can take a brush, paint with black, and hide as well parts of the frog. Now if I put this opacity back on the layer, it should look like the frog is hidden behind the flower. That's another technique to make your image look seamlessly blended. Now when you're done with this, you're going to save this as a JPEG. This will be the first part of your exam. Then you're going to hide it and choose one of the main activity options provided for you. The first one, you have a deer and a field. The second one, you have a lioness and some grasslands. And the last one, you have an elephant and also some grasslands that are appropriate. Please make sure you do all 7 steps to perfect blending for any of the images you choose. When you are done with this, you will provide a JPEG of your final layout, as well as a screenshot of your layers panel, so we can see the techniques you utilize. Good luck, be patient, and make sure you make good selections.